Hello everybody, I am The Worm, and welcome back to ReFantazio. Today we are doing an extra episode. Yes, indeed. Just to satisfy my own curiosity, we're going to be going back to the festival, and we are going to hang out with every one of our companions that we can. Also, since I was thinking, just to sort of get everything in order before we leave on our journey, I decided to also include within this extra episode our memorandum catch-up. Because I know that's not something I've done for a while, and so there's quite a few entries that need to be read. So I thought, hey, why not combine that with our festival today and get that all done so that when we do the next main episode, we can just go ahead and set out. That sounds good to me. So I went and checked how long it would take to go through all this, and it doesn't seem that bad. I had forgotten, they give you a save right at the beginning of the festival, and we're going to be able to skip and fast forward through the parts we've already seen, so this shouldn't take that much time. So let's go ahead and just relax. This is a very laid-back extra episode. Let's enjoy the party, see how our friends are doing, and then we'll finish with some reading. How does that sound? Sounds good to me. Let's go. Okay, so we are going to be skipping
expect them to throw such a party before
quite a bit.
A far cry from our first night here in a cell.
Yes, very true, Strohl, but we're going to have to skip over this conversation.
Have you decided on someone?
Yes, see how easy it is? It takes us straight to the selection. So, our first hangout was with Gallica, and it was pretty sweet, you know? I was very pleasantly surprised by how that whole conversation went. So I think I'm gonna, I suppose I'm gonna go down the list of my, my preference here. And that's not to say I dislike anyone, but I think it's fair to say that just through the amount of time we've spent with our particular companions, I'd say we formed more of a bond with some more than others, right? So we're gonna have to go with my boy Strohl here.
Yeesh.
The Dragon Tears, yes, there was some, well, it was either something alcoholic or something, I don't know, mildly hallucinogenic. That's what it seemed like. Yeah, I'd say so. Oh, yes, that's another thing. We're gonna get to see what everyone's wishes are.
All right.
Victory over Luis, that's very practical. I'm not surprised. Somewhat terrifying. No, I think I sympathize with that.
Huh?
Yeah. We're kind of there's not many of us, and it's true we have archetype powers, but it does feel like we're there's some steep odds here, is what it feels like. Ooh, that is yeah, I think it's understandable to have worries like that.
So?
For the country, for everyone's safety, I forgot to. Okay, I'm wondering if this is going to be a pattern here, because the first The one we did with Gallica, you know, it was two sort of practical ones, and then it was one that I found kind of funny. Should I just go for the funny one every time? Because I kind of want to. For the country, for everyone's safety. I forgot to. I mean, I have to, right? I forgot to.
You. That being the case.
Hey, hey.
Huh?
See, I knew it. I said at the time, although I'm not the character, I'm me. I said Gallica, you're not supposed to tell me your wish. Strohl, you told me your wish too. This has gone horribly wrong.
For real?
Huh?
Isn't she just flirting? I could never.
Yeah.
Well, we know they
Right.
do. A great sword, eh? So yes, that gives us the definite confirmation that all the weapons are particular to, well, of course the weapons are particular, but what I mean is they're different types of weapons based on who you talk to. Okay. Rebel's Greatsword. Let's check that out. Okay, so if I'm remembering right, I believe we can just skip this. This is when the brothers find out about...
Tell, you hear all that? What that cry was talking about?
Yeah, okay, so we are just going to skip this, and it should take us all the way to a place where we can actually... Yes, here we are.
So,
And then skip this, and here we are. Okay. So let's check out that greatsword. He's already samurai. Okay, hang on. First, I want to confirm something. Let's look at Strohl. Okay, see that greatsword that he's carrying there? Let's see. It should look different when I equip him with the new thing. Okay, Rebel's Greatsword. Greatsword given by Strohl, used by seaborne marauders who only target the rich. Small MP every turn in battle. Okay, so I think that's the same effect. The staff for the wizard was also MP recovery every turn. So the effect's the same. Gotcha. That makes sense. And I mean, that's such a good universal effect, so that's, yeah. And it's just a 4-hour level at this part of the game. It's just a good stat weapon. Good stat weapon, good effect, good universal effect. Now let's see if we can see what it looks like. Oh, it just looks the same. Or is it, I can't remember. Does it look the same, or is that just the generic? Hang on, we know that the Dragon's Judgment had a unique... Okay, no, that is just generic greatsword. What? I really wish there was a way
What now?
to see... You know, the visuals of a weapon. But you're not gonna give that to me, are you? That feels like an oversight. Or I'm missing something. Because the different weapons do have different models to them. I kind of wanted to see that. Well, now I'm sad. That means the next time... we can't go out. And going into the bed, that's just going to lead us into the next part of the story, so we can't... There's just no opportunity to see what it is. Oh well. Well, I guess that cuts out some time that I need to spend looking at the models, because I can't see them. So let's head back. Yeah, so hanging out with Strohl was pretty straightforward. No surprises there. He's just he's very practical in his thinking, and his mind is focused on the mission. He wants us to defeat Luis. Yeah, perfectly expected, I guess.
Have you decided on someone?
Okay, Hulkenberg. Good old Hulkenberg. Make a wish with me. Oh yeah, I'm sure you love feasts. How drunk did you get? Are you sure you have that right?
Hold on.
Hmm? No.
You did get a bit tipsy there. Well, if... I mean, if it's an order from the royal court, I suppose I have no option. That's a secret. I haven't decided yet. What about you? Ooh. I'm thinking about either asking her or, maybe actually following procedure and saying that it's a secret. But I do kind of want to know. Hulkenberg, please. Please tell me.
The truth is,
Okay. I'm sure she'll tell us in a
all
second.
right. Hail.
Safety of the prince, everyone's safety, more food. Okay, on this one, I'm kind of feeling less inclined. I'm a bit less inclined to go for the silly option this time. My first instinct was actually to do safety of the prince, but then I thought, she's been part of our group for a while now. Maybe she really, maybe she really does deeply care for everyone's safety at this point. I'm gonna try and guess. I'm gonna try and guess accurately. How about everyone's safety? Yes. See?
I'd say
I knew it. Okay, well, specifically victory. What do you see? Excuse me, a piece of driftwood?
fret not.
Seems strong.
Let us go.
Driftwood Lance. See, now that's something I really wish we could actually see. Because that sounds kind of funny.
So,
Okay.
What now?
Oh my goodness, it's actually... Of course the effect is good, it's MP recovery, but stat-wise it's actually not as good as what we have here. Hulkenberg made it by hand from a beam of driftwood. Yet we shall never see what it looks like. Okay, that's kind of funny.
What now? What
I wonder
now?
what that memorandum just was there. I feel like we didn't get it after hanging out with Strohl. Oh well. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if I said, is it more food, I'm sure Hulkenberg would, you know, she would guffaw and be outraged. How could you suggest such a thing, you know, something like that. But we went a bit more sincere that time.
have you decided on someone?
Okay, I think next, it's gotta be Heismay. Absolutely. And I can already hazard a guess as to what his wish will be. Something relating to his son, I would think. But let's find out. Your eyes are red. Let's be straight with him. Let's, I think he can handle it. You know, you had a bit of waterworks there. You kind of cried.
Well, sure.
I see.
Nah, man, you know, you had a lot of genuine feelings, and it was interesting to be able to see that. Really, you're a drinker. I don't think we've actually seen evidence of that until you've just admitted to it now. Interesting. Not actually surprising considering what he's been through. Well, if you're gonna be with the one suggesting it, I don't mind sitting down and having a drink with you, Heismay. That's not quite it. It might grant our wishes. It does seem powerful, though. I don't think that's quite what we're doing, Heismay.
No.
Indeed. But
Our wishes to our archetypes. That's an interesting thing to say. Because what precisely are our archetypes? You know, metaphysically, I guess. I mean, I think is the general idea I have in my head about archetypes. It's something like they are magical embodiments. I mean, it's in the name, archetype of a certain not. I mean, in the library, what is it? What's the place where? Oh my goodness, why am I forgetting his name? The library that we go to. Moore's library. We know from reading those archetype sections of the library that there may have once been specific individuals that those archetypes are molded after, but it seems to be a kind of conglomeration of multiple people that sort of fit into that mold. Thus the name archetype. So I'm a bit interested in what Heismay means when making a wish to our archetype, because that kind of puts them in a category I hadn't really thought of previously. Sorry, going on a tangent. I see. You're feeling very sentimental. I think there's something to that, for sure. Ah, an old sword. Can I, though? No, let's just thank him. If he believes in us, I want to believe in him. I want to believe in the me that he believes in.
Right.
Silence. Oh, that's a cool name for a katana. A katana wielded by, our stealthy archetype. It's kind of interesting how, for all the characters we pick, it seems to be they'll have that end of the cutscene. They'll go off and get the weapon for you.
So?
And yet, if you're with Strohl, Junah runs up and sort of gives you a hint on what the next cutscene will be with the brothers. Okay, there's that memorandum thing again. Let's look.
What now?
Silence. A katana given by Heismay, named for its sharp blade which can kill before its victims can utter a sound. Ooh. Very cool. Very cool and menacing. And yeah, 20 extra attack, and then a good effect.
What now?
Yeah, definitely more serious scene with Heismay. A bit more somber, I think. Not somber, but as he himself said, he can be he strikes me as a bit of the warrior poet, you know? It's introspective in that way.
Have you decided on someone?
Okay, who next? Okay, now we're getting into a tough situation where we have Neuras, Junah, and Eupha. And again, just speaking personally, these three, they kind of feel around a similar level to me. Strohl, Hulkenberg, and Heismay are, they're the big three who I really feel closest with. Besides Gallica, who I feel like, is our closest companion. But then these next three, again, it's not that I dislike any of them, it's just they're kind of in a different category thus far. Let's hang out with Neuras. I'm sure he's having a good time.
Ho ho.
Yes, that's right, the artist. You must really like drawing. Yeah, no. No. You're quite the artist.
Oh.
I mean, how many paintings have we already seen him make?
Thanks.
It's all thanks to me? Hey, likewise.
Listen.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have gotten very far in our journey if not for you.
Aha.
Oh? During God's rest, are you embarrassed? Hey, I don't mind, man. It's, your wish is your wish.
Come now.
There you go. He wants a Sky Runner. He wants a Sky Runner for Christmas. I'm not sure the Islanders would appreciate that, but you know, I feel like everyone's in a good mood, so maybe they'll let you try it.
Speaking of,
Custom ballista, you say? Can't wait to try it.
quite.
Man, I want all of these weapons.
Now then.
I want everyone to give me the weapons. I'm greedy like that. Please. Protobo beta. Oh my.
So?
Okay, let's look at this thing.
What now?
Yep. A bow made using knowledge gleaned from Neuras' flight experiments. Yep. 21 more damage, and then MP. I feel like Nasu's longbow, even if it's not as damaging, I feel like that skill that, you know, this effect here, skill that hits multiple times will always hit the maximum amount. I feel like that's a pretty good effect. Even if, you know, small MP recovery, very good, but that feels like it could come in clutch at times. Okay.
What now?
Neuras, kind of a... I was expecting a bit more funny, but no, it was, I mean, yeah, it was kind of quintessentially Neuras, though. Him talking about his experiments and... I mean, that, you know, that's all that's... Every fiber of his being is dedicated toward that end, and so it's, you know, he's consistent. You know, beyond also aiding us in our quest.
Have you decided on someone?
Okay. Now, I feel like this might be somewhat controversial. But I think I want to pick Eupha over Junah. I don't know if anyone's going to be upset about that, but I'm going to do that. Oh?
Oh,
Did you not mean to speak that? Oh, wait, no, you've forgotten something. Okay. Oh, your helmet.
I beg your
Yes,
pardon.
of course. Is this part of the ritual?
Hold on.
In truth,
Excuse me? Peril in gazing upon your smile. Oh, I see. So that's what she said.
that was a great help.
It's a turn of phrase.
Indeed.
I mean, I understand she's young, and from a kind of enclosed culture, but surely she can think back that if her smiles could kill, we would surely be, we would have surely passed on many times over at this point, I think. Ah. Well, that seems appropriate.
It's all right.
I've enjoyed it.
Right.
I'm quite grateful.
Oh, maybe I should have said, I learned a lot. Mine was for the country, mine was for everyone. Oh. Ooh. I think we have to. Mine was for you.
Honestly.
Truly. Oh, you.
Well, I think you're special too.
I'm indebted to you now.
Well, sure, I'll take a gift.
Actually,
I'll treasure it. Funny how she's gonna give us a gift, which is gonna be the staff that, you know, gameplay-wise, we're just gonna give back to her. Dancing Crozier.
So,
Well, certainly I didn't expect the
What now?
beginning with her misinterpreting what Junah said, but you know, I did appreciate the. Yeah, that's very nice. Good improvement on attack, good effect. Crozier given by Eupha, integral to Mastari traditions. It is only entrusted to those deemed worthy. That is very nice. Very nice indeed.
What now?
It was definitely pretty cute at the end there, and it's, you know, it's. I think it's something to appreciate. Where I feel like, just thinking about this, our character age-wise, I get the sense that, you know, I feel like of all the characters in our group right here, you know, everyone's here is young. Heismay is definitely a bit older. Well, of course, I don't know what the average ages for the various tribes are, but, you know, Heismay is definitely older, has a son, kind of the wiser, you know, sort of mentor figure almost. Neuras definitely feels like a bit older, but he gives more like the crazy uncle at times. But the rest of our group here, definitely all young adults. But I would say Strohl's probably very close, but I would still say maybe. Well, again, it's hard to tell because we don't see any other Elda, but I feel like of all the characters here, I just need to say my dang point. I feel like Eupha seems kind of the closest in age to our character. Colm here. Strohl, Hulkenberg, and Junah feel like they're kind of slightly older than us. So I find it interesting. It kind of just struck me during that time with Eupha just now. You know, striking up just as a peer, you know? Starting that sort of friendship, relationship with someone who is, you know, clearly from a very different background, but just getting that sense that, you know, they're on the same level with each other in that sense is kind of what the feeling I was getting from there. So, you know, something like that. Okay, and now we have our last companion. And once again, I will reiterate, it's not that I dislike Junah, but just for me and my personal journey in this game, she's the one that I feel like I kind of have
you decided on
least
someone?
amount of connection with, I guess. And again, that's not to say there's no connection, but I think you get it. I feel like I have a tendency to not explain myself well, or maybe I over-explain. And in trying to over-explain, I lose track of myself too often. Okay. Oh, do tell. Siblings or something? Parent and child, maybe? That's a funny one. We had something special. I'm pretty sure she's thinking... That's kind of the funny one, though. Parent and child. That we had something special. I'm gonna say this just because I want to hear her reaction. Parent and child, maybe?
Hold on.
Okay, that sounded like sounded like this was the line that would be replaced.
Yep.
You don't pray? Ah, I see. Ah, you're Rella's little sister. Interesting.
Got it. And
Just right, very, very tiny.
well,
Well, thank you.
bye.
Stylish fan. Well, I can't say I'm all that surprised. It was just sort of poke fun at, that's kind of, it's Junah's MO. She, I mean, it was mentioned, I think, with Strohl. When we hung out with Strohl just during the festival and later saw Junah,
So,
I think it was mentioned how, as just part of her, what would you say, strategy, she just flirts kind of with everyone. But flirting, that's kind of too strong a word, but it felt like she was doing something similar there. But you know, it wasn't coming from a place of malice or anything. I don't think. You know, she's genuinely on our side and is our companion. But you know, she was just having a bit of fun with us, I think. Okay, let's
What now?
take a look. A fan given by Junah. Dancing with this fan shows that you're a fashion-forward style icon. Oh my. Well, I think I can definitely say... Yeah, and unfortunately we don't get... you know, we can't invite more to the party, so we can't get the weapon for the Seeker. But pure stat-wise, the best would be Junah, Eupha... Junah or Eupha, I guess. Yeah. But I think in the end, I'm going to stick with what I chose in the main, in the first time I went through, which was Gallica. It's still a good stat increase comparatively.
What now?
We get 20 extra attack. The best would be for Junah, of course, which it'd give us 30 more attack than the next best. Although it does increase fire attack strength, which Masked Dancer has a lot of strong fire attacks. That makes up a bit. But for one, you know, when I originally started the game, I chose the options to do magic attack, and I do really, I want to go with my gut, and so I really appreciate us hanging out with Gallica. So, yeah, that's the plan. All right, now that that's done, let's actually. Well, first, let me get it. Let me take a drink of water right now, real quick. Need to, because we're gonna be doing some reading now. Ooh, okay. Okie dokie. Let us
What now?
do some memorandum wrap up. We've got quite a bit, I think. Although probably not as much as I'm imagining, considering as the farther we go along in the story... Oh my goodness, we do have quite a bit. But it seems like the farther we go along, the less memorandum entries we get. I think it's just because I have not done it in quite a long time. So let's go ahead and get this started. We are in the nature category, Scorching Heat. Refers to a rare occurrence when temperatures exceed 35 degrees Celsius around the Virga Island archipelago. One theory says that the intense heat is born of the region's magma-amplifying sun rays reflected off the water's surface, but details are unknown. This excessive heat is said to induce frenzy in the local monsters. Yeah, okay. So basically, that was the Spire of Blind Faith. It was told to us that it's always hot, and that's why they said, introducing the need for Edeni's weather power, which I screwed up using anyway, so, Land of Ceremony. An island at the end of an ocean current flowing from Virga Island. The harsh sunlight gives it blazing temperatures year-round. The creatures that have survived its harsh environment boast a strength that puts them at the apex of the island's ecosystems. Most Mystari know better than to approach the island without good reason. However, there is also a tradition of undergoing a trial there to test and prove one's courage. In the depths of the island lies a gravesite, but by all appearances, it's been untouched for some time. Yeah. This was Eupha's quest. Prismatic sea with a very pretty picture. A phenomenon in the sea by Virga Island. Because of the clean air, the sun seems to gleam brighter as it sinks to the horizon. Though the carmine sky and lilac clouds hang overhead are a familiar sight to local Mastari, travelers seeing it for the first time say it inspires both breathless awe and a certain fear of the pagan gods said to rule this domain. Sporico Cave. This was a crazy one. A cave located in the dense forest of a small island near Virga Island. The interior is covered in plants and large flowers that continue to grow there despite the lack of sunlight due to vestiges of magic. In fact, cutting through the roots reveals magic circuitry in the walls. That's pretty crazy. Indicating the remnants of something man-made. There is no record of how such a mechanism was made nor why it was abandoned, but among the Mastari it is said that nature admonished the faults of man. Ooh, that's pretty hardcore. Yeah, because we have heard now that, what was it, part of something that led to the calamity or whatever it was that ended the previous human civilization was the discovery of magic. And so clearly they developed magic technology of some kind. But this looks pretty, you know, space age looking kind of thing, so kind of curious about that. Orbwise Path. Cave on an island northeast of Virga Island. While uninhabited, there was a custom of islanders carrying their dead to this cave and offering their bodies to the local snakes, respected as garden deities, as part of a funerary tradition. It is believed that having the snakes eat the flesh of the dead and burying the remaining bones allows the soul to be reincarnated. However, in recent years, invasive predatory monsters have thinned the snakes' numbers and the custom has begun to die out. Well, how about that? That was Junah's quest. Towering seawall. This was crazy. A giant wall of water above the sea near Brilhaven's coast. The spectacle is caused by abnormal magma unique to the area that makes it appear as though the very sea has split in two. Beyond the wall of water is the sea as most people know it, in which fish swim normally. However, hapless fish will sometimes leap out from the waves and fall like rain to the land below. Very parting of the Red Sea kind of thing. Yeah. But obviously here it's just, you know, some sort of remnant magical phenomenon. Okay, we are now on to the magic category. Divine Relic. Let's see here. Ancient relics with a power similar to igniters. They are passed down within indigenous communities with distinct religious beliefs apart from sanctism. According to the Crown Theocracy, they are called divine relics because they are treasured as religious objects representing the ancient divinity, but Junah says the truth is hardly so simple. What is that picture of? It kind of looks to me like some kind of armor. Have we seen that somewhere? I don't recall ever seeing that. Kind of looks cool, though. I kind of want to see what the rest of the... I feel like there should be more to it, you know? Maybe, you know, arms, legs, and a helmet. Some kind of space age looking suit or armor. Yeah. I'm curious what that picture is from. I mean, maybe I just deleted the memory from my mind, but I don't think I've seen that before. Okay, Royal Magic Protection and Dueling. It was discovered that there is an exception to the protective magic that prohibits the forceful elimination of a top-ranking candidate. A duel, a battle in which both parties agree to fight after formally declaring their identities. With these conditions met, the protective magic is revoked, no matter the candidate's place in the ranking. That came to us from Rayla. Well, I feel like that has to happen at some point. Someone's gonna duel someone. Either we're gonna duel Luis, or Luis is gonna duel... what's his name? Head of the church? Forden? Yes, Forden. Okay, Dracodios. The divine relic Luis ordered the party to acquire, the Mastari villagers of Virga Island regarded as sacred object containing the spirit of the dragon god, a deity, which we find out is actually quite literal, a deity of the islanders' faith. The islanders are unlikely to hand over such an heirloom to an outsider, and yet. And then the true power of Dracodios. The divine lance enshrined in the Dragon Temple, capable of drawing on the dragon god Et's power by Eupha's will. It was also discovered that the lance had the singularly unique property of being able to nullify certain types of magic, including the protections of royal magic. In other words, this spear could take the life of any candidate no matter their standing. How about that? And somehow, Fidelio was, I don't know, he was in the bathroom and listening in. And, he was able to hear what we were saying. Okay. The history section. Ligno. A settlement that merchants en route to the capital always visit. It is a good place of exchange for peddlers, who pay for their lodging fees with regional specialty goods, which in turn allows the peddlers to procure and stock up on rare goods from faraway lands. The village's history is actually rather short, as the entire community moves to a safer location whenever war endangers the village. Should the increasing monster attacks of recent years continue, the village may very well one day disappear. So they're kind of nomadic. Semi-nomadic? Huh. Scoundrel's Hold. An underground desert cave not too far from Grand Trad. Its deceptively small entrance conceals a vast, maze-like expanse. Originally a natural cave, it became both home and hideout to local bandits of the time, and they dug out its boundaries to the grand fortress-like size it now boasts. Their unchecked expansion, however, led to invasion by horrors of all kinds, and the new threats soon drove the bandits from their lair, leaving it a labyrinth ruled by monsters. Yep. Yeah, let's read about these. Fall of the Mage Academy. An armed conflict several years ago, when the Royal Mage Academy, located in northern Montario, was forcefully closed by the combined forces of the State Army and the Crown Theocracy's Monk Army. Records indicate that the casualties involved were equivalent to a small-scale war. My goodness. I don't think I had that. I don't think I had a sense of that before. The official reason given for mobilizing against the Academy was that their research endeavors had crossed into outright sedition, including seeking to tame a dragon without the king's authorization. Interesting. I feel like we're going to go here at some point. In truth, the incident was orchestrated by Forden, who sought to keep the dogma, historical accounts, and igniters of the Crown Theocracy from being undermined by advanced magical research. The infamously dire numbers of casualties is not actually a product of armed combat, but caused by the thoughtless destruction of artifacts under research, which drove the dragon there to indiscriminate rampage. Ultimately, the incident proved wholly self-destructive for both sides. Did we hear about that? Did we hear that they were trying to control a dragon and then the dragon went on a rampage? I don't remember ever hearing that. Or is this something that the memorandum is telling us? I feel like this is something we should actually have gone to the academy and learned for ourselves, instead of having it be revealed in the memorandum, but maybe we were told and I'm forgetting? I don't know. That feels like a bit of a weird one, but okay, just speaking on what it actually is, pretty crazy. And yes, I understand. Crown Theocracy is bad. If it wasn't abundantly clear throughout the entire game thus far. Okay, Truth of the Parapus Riots. Batlin, a Sanctus Crier, revealed more about the Parapus-led riots. According to him, the riots began not of the Parapus' own volition, but instead they were the result of madness caused by the magic igniter experiments run by the Sanctus Church in the shadow of the law. If true, then the Parapus would also be victims in the incident. Heismay, who lost his son during the riots, was unaware of this information. Yes, okay, so that is confirmed. That was the riot with his son, and clearly both Fidelio and Basilio were also involved in some way. Yeah. Montario. One of the Kingdom of Uchronia's 3 constituent countries occupying its easternmost lands, the Montarian capital, Altaberry Heights, is a mountain city commonly blanketed in snow, occupying much land held sacred to sanctism. Infamous for its cold climate, Altaberry's many prominent Roussant and Clamart noble houses boast a hardy resistance to the chill. They enjoy a more direct political influence over Montario than other countries' aristocracies tend to wield, currently ruled by a Roag lord. Interesting. Even after they just said how Roussant and Clamart have so much influence. And then suddenly the Roag with a steel chair. Okay. Magic Academy. Oh, look at that. There's a picture of it. Yeah, we're definitely going there. Once the kingdom's preeminent magic research academy located in the Principality of Montario, accused by the Crown Theocracy of conducting dangerous research, the academy was subdued by force and shuttered only a few years prior. Today it is only an empty ruin, untouched and unvisited. Virga Island. An island of the inland sea south of the kingdom. In the center of the archipelago sits an old village home to many Mastari. It is the sole area of the kingdom untouched by sanctist proselytizing. The Mastari in major cities on the mainland are often disdained as pagans, adding to the public impression that the island is uncivilized. Yep. Etria, the new name of the previously unnamed village on Virga Island, granted by Edeni. The name means capital of the dragon god Et, and represents Edeni's hope that the village will eventually blossom into a city where people from all walks of life gather. Dragon Temple. Temple of the Mastari faith that stands on an uninhabited island in the north of the archipelago, home to the guardian deity, the dragon god, and likely resting place of the dragon relic Dracodios. Rumors suggest the true reason the Crown Theocracy has never tried to extend its reach to Virga Island is because it does not want to risk its believers seeing something in the temple. What truths lie hidden? We'll see. If they were really concerned about that, they should have just destroyed it, burned it down. But I'm not sure what the effects are if you destroy a temple that holds within it an interdimensional space. So maybe they couldn't do it. Lost Dragon Grace Shinjuku. Yeah, that's quite the name. An untouched city deep underground in the Dragon Temple. Despite being underground, it somehow sits below a sky, and by all indications it was built by a civilization completely unlike the nations of today. It stands as material proof that the history taught by Sanctism is a lie. Wow, the sky... Our sky is a lie. But where have I heard that before? Silento. A fishing village located within the Virga Island archipelago, which surrounds a large marine cavern. The waves are calm year-round, allowing the islanders to build their home atop the water. The sinkhole, said to be caused by something plummeting from the sky into the sea, boasts unfathomable depths. And in its surrounding waters, it is possible to catch great harvests of fish not available in other nearby waters. However, it is said that those who have peered into the great cavern's abyss are taken to another world, and many of those who challenged its depths never returned. I don't know, maybe it was aliens. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, okay, okay. Let's do culture next. Ontario's Saint Day. Largest Sanctus festival in the faith that takes place every autumn in Altaberry. Highly devout followers will go to great risk to make pilgrimage at least once in their lives. According to religious scripture, God used his precious hands to bless the lands of the earth 4 times. The last of these blessings occurs in autumn, and the festival is held in celebration. The scriptures also teach that the monolith is evidence of God's favor upon the world, and that the plentiful grain harvests of autumn shew the bounty of and glory of his Monolith? Monolith, you say? This is the first time we've heard of this. Monolith. You can't just say that. You can't just say there's a monolith. Well, I was going to say how, you know, the fact that it's God, that's saying God bless the land 4 times. It's this is some sort of background information and, world building I want to hear more about. But then they just toss in, oh yeah, and then there's the monolith, which is evidence of God's favor. You can't do that. You can't just 2001 A Space Odyssey me out of nowhere. But I guess they're doing it. Okay, they did it. Dedication ceremony. A special ceremony announced by the Crown Theocracy to be the central event of this year's Saints' Day Festival in Ontario. By collecting and sealing away dangerous relics scattered throughout the kingdom in the name of sanctism, the ceremony will relieve the anxieties of the people, such as its designated purpose, but it is effectively a continuation of the Exhibition of the Brave held in Brylehaven, expected to act as the final leg of the Tournament of the Throne. So there's only 2... There's Exhibition of the Brave, and then there's this. Just 2. Interesting. While it can be seen as an open invitation to loot and pillage treasures of the pagan faith while keeping the Sanctus officials' hands clean, some also note that it allows the Crown Theocracy to seize a veritable armory of dangerous weapons with unknown powers, a worrying sign for the days to come. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, everyone, I guess. Dragon God Et, a deity taking the form of a dragon, object of the Mastari faith of Virga Island. As anticipated, it resembled the great and terrible creatures known as dragons. However, it succumbed to melancholia after being possessed by a large human and was spiritually cut off from its priestess. After a pitched battle, the human was vanquished, and the dragon god returned to normal, revealing a hidden truth regarding the priestess and her traditional role. The true purpose of the priestess was not to offer her life in sacrifice, but in battle alongside the dragon, fighting to drive back disaster. Over the years, this truth was distorted and ultimately lost. So that, it must have been possessed by that human a long time then, I guess. Okay. Altar of the 12. A chamber in the innermost depths of the Dragon Temple where the priestess communes directly with the dragon god. Dragondice was first discovered there, and remains so enshrined when not being used for ceremony. Several relics apparently left by the lost city's denizens, as well as discovered illustrations, suggest the ancients knew of 11 other divine beings besides the dragon god. It is from this legend that the altar takes its name. Interesting. I feel like this game is not going to be long enough at this point for us to get to know the other 11, but we'll see. Pagan Festival, a Virga Island festival praying for the safe voyage of the ships, originally marked as the annual first day of fishing season. An effigy of the dragon god is lit aflame, serving as both an offering to the dragon god and a beacon for sailors in the night. These days, however, it's a tradition of more cultural significance than practical. Historically, danger has apparently befallen villagers who went to sea without holding the festival beforehand. Everyone gets drunk. Dragon's Tear. Sacred fruit, harvested only once every few years on Virga Island. Also called a phantom fruit, as it's never seen outside the island. Many of its harvests are used in rituals to converse directly with the gods, but it is also served on special occasions like festivals or to special guests. Their sugary, succulent juices and rich flavor make them quite the treat. It must be noted, however, that those who eat one tend to behave most unusually for a short period afterward. Yes, indeed. Ocean of Blight. Powerful concoction capable of wilting any plant, the knowledge of which passed down through the generations of Virga Island priests. The ingredient necessary for its brewing apparently can't be found on the island. Okay. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. One last page. The people page. Well, let's start from the top. Mastari Third Eye. A third eye on the forehead of the Mastari tribe. While their 2 opposing eyes see plainly like other tribes, the third eye can perceive Magla as shapes and colors rather than the usual vague sensory suggestions. However, sensitivity varies from person to person. While some can perceive it only faintly, there are others, such as Eupha, who can see the flow of Magla very clearly. Notably, the pupil of the third eye does not move as the other 2 do, as it does not see in the same way. The third eye's lid often remains in a perpetual half-open state, unless forced open with conscious effort. That must, surely their eye must get very irritated then. I mean, that's... when we blink, we're it's like the window wipers on a car. You know, you're cleaning your eye as you blink. I can only imagine. I mean, it's another eye, right? So it must be very sensitive. And so I get the feeling that would be somewhat unpleasant to just have an eye be open forever. But I don't know. Maybe because it's a different kind of sensory organ, so maybe it has a kind of I don't know, layer to it that is you know, deals with that problem. I don't know. Bonds unfettered Strohl. That's an interesting thing. Oh, this is about the quest, the companion quest. Along their journey, Strohl discovers the inheritance of House Haliatis, left to him by his parents. The fortune was, in reality, the residents of Halia who survived the tragedy, people who the late Lord Haliatis had always considered his true treasures. Strohl used what is left of his house's fortune to help the former Halians, and the ideology his parents lived by clicks into place for him. As their beloved son, Strohl vows to put his life on the line to fight for the restoration of peace. Yes, very nice. And Hulkenberg. In Grand Trad, Hulkenberg reunites with the newly minted commander of the Royal Knights, Rodanth, who she once counted as a friend and ally. She soon discovers that he has been corrupted beyond redemption, as he would unjustly target his opposition or falsely accuse people of treason to execute them. Angered by his tyranny, Hulkenberg challenges Rodanth to a duel, and upon victory he is apprehended by the Shadow Guard. Hulkenberg, who demonstrated her knightly virtue through her actions, and not by means of her family or status, gained the confidence of the knights who witnessed the incident, who view her as a model of knighthood. The knighthood. Very nice. On Heismay. Because of the Parapet's involvement in the loss of his son, Heismay sometimes unknowingly turns his prejudices against the Magnus brothers, who were unrelated to the incident. He himself is troubled by these thoughts he feels he has no control over. I'd actually forgotten about that, but now, clearly, with the revelation from Batlin, that paints the whole situation in a new light. So, hopefully with that information, Heismay can let go of some of what he feels. Although I'm sure he'll never fully be able to. Well, I don't know about never, but you know, the losing his son in such a horrible, violent manner, you know, he's always going to have that trauma, right? So there's no erasing that. So even with the knowledge that it wasn't necessarily the Parapet's fault, you know, he may still feel something about that. But again, hopefully this will bring a bit of understanding and may allow him to direct his completely justified anger towards the true source of the problem, which of course is the, you know, Sanctist experiments and such. On Junah. Initially thought to be in league with Louise, the surprising truth that she's actually the second agent sent by the Resistance to save the prince. Her passion for singing, though, has always been genuine. As a Nydia, she has lived her life under false pretenses, extending even to her physical appearance. Because of this, she feels that singing is the only true experience she has ever had. She did mention something about her physical appearance, but I can't remember specifically what she said. Are we ever going to meet more of the Resistance? I feel like at some point we have to go where the prince is. I'm kind of curious to see. In the very beginning of the game, there was a cutscene where we saw the prince, you know, laid out you know, he was cursed, and he had a few people next to him. I'm curious about that. Okay, Eupha. Eupha Etoreka. Etorica. A young Mastari woman revered as the sacred priestess in the Mastari village on Virga Island, a central figure in the dragon god religion many Mastari believe in. She is entrusted with the divine relic, the Lance Dracodios, which is said to represent the dragon god itself. Though Mastari are naturally adept at magic, her senses are especially keen in that her third eye allows her to clearly perceive the flow of magla. Additionally, the name Etorica is not her surname, but a title that only priestesses can have. The specific origins of the word are not clear, but it is said to come from an archaic word that means sacrifice. I mean, if that's from an actual language, I don't know it. But that's not saying much. Okay, on Eupha. After meeting Colm and the party, she figured out the legend of the Drip Priestesses and their relationship with the dragon god had been passed down inaccurately over the past few hundred years, and that the true meaning involved dedicating her life to oppose threats. Due to her upbringing, she is not well versed in worldly matters that are common knowledge in the mainland, such as sanctism or the royal family, but because of this, she is sometimes able to make statements that speak to the truth behind an issue. Yes, it is good that we have her perspective with us. Hector. Wow, this is an... When did we get this memorandum? I feel like this has been here a while. A watchdog, often accompanying Gladel, though he looks unerringly vicious, it is said he was originally a friendly stray dog before being forcibly melancholized by Gladel's magic igniter. Well, if we ever needed more reason to dislike Gladel, there you go. Ideni. The young chief of the Mastari village on Virga Island, a rare progressive amongst the Mastari, he left the island to participate in the tournament for the throne in order to shed light on the island's customs and treatment of the tribe. However, disappointed by the theocracy's crushing dominance as spearheaded by Forden, as well as his own powerlessness in the face of it, he decides to withdraw. And then on Ideni, the head of the family of village leaders, going only by his given name as he has no surname, he was deeply conflicted when his sister, the priestess Eupha, decided to become sacrifice for the dragon god, a ritual long held on the island. After the disaster of the dragon temple passed, he accepted their faith's true teachings and rejoiced in his sister's newfound purpose in life. Using the power of the divine relic passed down through generations of village chiefs, he was able to clear particular kinds of rough weather for a short period of time. Since the deaths of his parents, including the previous village chief, he has taken over guardianship of his younger sister Eupha, who he cares and worries for. His favorite food is the stew that she makes. Oh my goodness. We are done. And I feel like my throat is going to be sore. Okay. Well, glad we got all that done. And you know what? I think I'm gonna go back on my word. I just thought, starting out, I said, well, why not just also do the memorandum in the extra episode? Because, it'll allow you to start the main, the next regular episode, allow you to start afresh, and you could just go on the journey. You won't have to waste time. And I think that turned out to be a good decision, because this took a while. So I think I'm glad I did that. But at the same time, we're over an hour in now, so I think this is no longer an extra episode. I think it's just an episode. So I think I will make it such. I shall make this a main episode, I think. Yeah, and I get it. That kind of pushes back the next main episode, but I feel like there was something worthwhile here. Yeah, if it was only around half an hour, 45 minutes, I'd keep it extra, but we went pretty far. But we're all caught up now, so Yes, I feel good about that. So next time we will be setting off. We'll have our final conversations with our group here. And then we will say goodbye to Virga Island, and we shall go on to Altabury, I think. So, yeah. Nice to hang out with all our friends and companions in the festival, and yeah. Still sad I didn't get to see the weapon models, but, you know. Can't always get what we want, right? Alright, everybody. I am The Worm. This has been Metaphor ReFantazio. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.